Who decides what gets repaired after a collision? The company that designed the vehicle? The company that built the restraint system? The engineers who wrote the owner's manual? Or is it the insurance company writing the estimate? That question matters because we recently dealt with a 2019 Jeep, and Jeep's owner's manual says something remarkably clear. Seatbelt assemblies must be replaced after a collision. That's the sentence. Not inspected, not replaced if they look damaged, not replace them if the insurance company agrees. Jeep says seatbelt assemblies must be replaced after a collision. Nylund's Collision Center followed Jeep's instructions and included replacement of the seatbelt assemblies in the repair plan. State Farm refused to pay for it. Then something even more important happened. Omar, here at Nylund's, asked State Farm to put that refusal in writing. In other words, if State Farm was going to deny payment for something that Jeep says must be replaced, Omar asked them to document the reason. Their response? Give me a call. Omar asked again. Please put it in writing. Again, the response moved towards a phone call. Rob later pressed the same issue. Please document the position in writing. And again, the answer stayed away from writing. And that's what this video is about. Because a phone call may be useful for clarification, but a phone call does not give the vehicle owner a written record. It does not give the repair file a clear explanation. It doesn't show who made the decision, why they made it, or what authority they relied on. Jeep put its requirement in writing. So if an insurance company is going to deny payment for that requirement, the customer deserves that denial in writing as well. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Airing of Grievances. I'm Eric with Nylund's Collision Center in Englewood, Colorado. Today, we're looking at a real claim involving a real 2019 Jeep. We're going to protect names and claim numbers and personal information, anything else that should remain private, but we're going to talk about the issue because this is exactly the kind of thing most vehicle owners never get to see. Most people think that collision repair works something like this. You have an accident, you call the insurance company writes an estimate, the body shop fixes the car, you pick it up and move on. That sounds simple. The real process can be very different. Sometimes the insurance estimate does not include everything that the vehicle manufacturer requires. Sometimes the shop has to identify missing procedures. Sometimes the shop has to show documentation, and sometimes the insurer disagrees. And sometimes the disagreement involves safety-related systems that matter long after the claim is closed. That's what happened here. Jeep says that the seatbelt assemblies must be replaced after a collision. Nylund's included that operation. State Farm refused to pay. The explanation, as communicated in the exchange, was that nobody else in the area charges for that. Let's stop right there. Nobody else in the area charges for that may be a claim handling argument. It might be a market argument. It might be a cost argument. It is not engineering. It is not Jeep's repair position. It is not a manufacturer requirement. It is not proof that the operation does not need to be done. If a vehicle manufacturer says safety components must be replaced after a collision, the question shouldn't be how many shops around here bill for it. The question should be, what does the vehicle require? Because those are not the same thing. A cheap estimate does not rewrite the owner's manual. A local habit doesn't override Jeep's engineers. A missing line on another shop's estimate doesn't prove the procedure's unnecessary. If Jeep says seatbelt assemblies must be replaced after a collision and someone disagrees, that disagreement needs a basis. Where is the engineering? Where is the published procedure? Where is the manufacturer document that says the owner's manual does not apply? Where's the policy language that says the customer must pay out of pocket for safety-related items the manufacturer says must be replaced? Those are fair questions, and they become even more important when the answer is kept off paper. When Omar asked for the denial in writing, he wasn't playing games. He was doing what the employee of a responsible repair facility should do. He was asking for clarity. He was asking for a record. He was asking State Farm to explain why they wouldn't pay for a procedure that Jeep says must be performed. It's not complicated. If the answer is legitimate, write it down. If the reason is, we don't know for this under the policy, write it down. If the reason is, we disagree the Jeep's statement applies to this collision, write that down. Hell, if the reason is, we believe the operation's unnecessary, write it down. And if the reason is, we believe that the local market behavior is more important than the owner's manual, write that down too. Give the customer a clear answer. Give the repair file a clear answer. Give everyone a record of the decision. Because when a safety-related procedure disappears into a phone call, the person who loses clarity is the customer. Seat belts are not cosmetic trim. They're not bumper moldings. They're not a convenience factor. They're a part of the occupant restraint system. They're designed to help protect people during a crash. And modern restraint systems are not just straps of fabric. They can involve retractors, buckles, anchors, pretensioners, sensors, airbags, modules, and other systems that work together when a collision occurs. That's why manufacturer instructions matter. Jeep built the vehicle. They designed the system. They published the manual. And Jeep says seat belt assemblies must be replaced after a collision. So when a repair facility sees that instruction, the responsible path is to follow it or get clear documentation from the party refusing to pay for it. Now think about what happens after the repair. The estimate gets filed away. The claim gets closed. The adjuster moves on to the next file. The insurance company moves on to the next claim. But the customer keeps driving that Jeep. Their family rides in that Jeep. Their passengers ride in that Jeep. And if that vehicle is involved in another collision years later, the question isn't going to be whether another shop in the area charged for seatbelts back in 2026. The question will be whether the vehicle was repaired according to the manufacturer's requirements. That's why this matters. This isn't a dispute about a line item on an estimate. This is about who gets to make repair decisions, who documents those decisions, and who lives with the result. Today, the issue is about seatbelt assemblies. Tomorrow, it could be an ADAS calibration. It could be a radar sensor. It could be a camera aiming procedure or a one-time use fastener, a structural adhesive, corrosion protection. It might be a scan. It could be an occupant classification system. The specific operation changes, but the pattern stays the same. The manufacturer publishes a requirement. The shop identifies that requirement. The insurer refuses to pay. The shop asks for a denial in writing, and then that conversation moves to the phone. That pattern should concern consumers because written documentation creates accountability. A phone call can clarify details, but a phone call should not replace a written denial for a disputed safety-related operation. A customer deserves to know what the manufacturer requires. A customer deserves to know what the insurer is refusing to pay for. They deserve to know why. They deserve that answer in writing. This also changes how people should think about the insurance estimate. An insurance estimate is not the repair Bible. It is a payment document. It's the insurer's initial assessment of what they believe they owe at that point in the claim. A proper repair plan is different. A proper repair plan looks at the vehicle, the damage, the manufacturer's procedures, the required inspections, the required replacements, and the systems affected by the collision. Those two documents may not match at the beginning. That's why supplements exist. That's why documentation matters. That's why repair facilities push back when required procedures are omitted. And that is why the customer should never assume that the insurance estimate automatically includes everything that the vehicle needs. Sometimes it does, but most times it doesn't. In this case, Jeep's owner's manual says that the seatbelt assemblies must be replaced after a collision. That's clear. State Farm refused to pay. That's also clear from the email exchange that took place. The unresolved question is why that refusal would not be put in writing. That's the question that consumers should care about. Because if the insurer has a stronger position, writing it down should be easy. If Jeep's statement does not apply, then explain why. If another standard controls, cite it. If the policy limits payment, quote it. If the operation is being denied because local market behavior, say that plainly. But don't leave the customer or the shop with just a phone call that never becomes part of the record. Don't leave the shop holding the responsibility for a decision that someone else made. Don't take a written manufacturer requirement and answer it with an undocumented conversation. That's not good enough for safety-related repair. The fair standard is simple. When the manufacturer puts a requirement in writing, anyone refusing to pay for that requirement should be willing to put that refusal in writing. That doesn't mean that every disagreement disappears. It doesn't mean the shop automatically gets everything it asks for. It does not mean that every line item is beyond question, but it means serious repair decisions deserve serious documentation. And when the subject is a restraint system, documentation matters even more. So here's what I want vehicle owners to take away from this. After a collision, ask what the manufacturer requires. Ask whether the insurance estimate includes those requirements. Ask whether any required procedures are being denied. And if someone refuses to pay for a manufacturer-required safety operation, ask for the denial and the reason in writing. That one question changes the entire conversation. Will you put that in writing? It moves the issue out of vague phone calls, and it gives the customer a record. It forces everyone to be clear, and it helps reveal the difference between an engineering-based repair decision and a payment-based refusal. On this 2019 Jeep says seatbelt assemblies must be replaced after a collision. Nylund's included the operation. State Farm refused to pay. Omar asked for the reason in writing. Rob pressed for the same thing. And the answer kept moving back to a phone call. So I'll end with the same question that every vehicle owner should ask. If Jeep put the requirement in writing, why won't the insurance company put the denial in writing? Because after the claim is closed, someone is still driving that vehicle. And the people riding in it deserve more than a verbal explanation that never makes it to the record. They deserve a repair plan based on the vehicle manufacturer requirements. And they deserve to know who decided what did not need to be paid for, especially when Jeep says it must be replaced. This has been another episode of the Airing of Grievances. Listen, if your vehicle's been in a collision, don't just ask what the insurance company wrote on the estimate. Ask what the manufacturer requires. Ask what the repair facility documented. And when a required safety procedure is denied, ask the only question that really matters. Will you put that in writing?